Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a little get ready with me using the new La Mer. This is their Radiant Skin Tint SPF 30. This just showed up. Got a little excited about it. I had many requests asking me if I was going to be purchasing this. So we are going to put this on my face and we're going to do a little wear test throughout the day. I'll let you know some of the ins and outs. I also am going to be talking about a few comparisons to this new launch. So if you already have one of the other ones in your repertoire, do you need this? So we're going to do a quick little get ready with me using this new Radiant Skin Tint, do a little wear test, and then give you my final thoughts at the end, as well as a few comparisons to this La Mer Radiant Skin Tint. So if you're interested in learning more, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, you guys, I couldn't resist a little new La Mer product. It had the word radiant in it, so I am going to be using the La Mer. This is the Radiant Skin Tint. This is broad spectrum SPF 30 and comes in a nice little squeezy tube and this kind of silver packaging. I ended up picking up the shade Light, and it comes in 7 sort of adaptable shades. Now it says that it comes in 7 different shades. On the Bloomingdale's website, I'm only seeing 6 shades at the moment, but it could mean that something is sold out. So it starts with fair, light, light medium, medium, medium deep, and I'm assuming deep is the last color for the 7 radiant shades. I'm going to be using light. I was kind of in between getting light and light medium. There was not a lot of swatches online of this new product, and so I was kind of going off the old product that was called the Reparative Tint. And this is the shade Light, and I think it's gonna work out just fine for me. This is supposed to give me light as air coverage. It is also supposed to energize and brighten my skin. Always love those kind of claims. It's supposed to give me a veil of refreshing color that's supposed to improve my skin with time, because this little guy is $95. Of course, this is going to contain the Miracle Broth, which is in all of La Mer's products. This also says that it has a translucence ferment. This supercharged ferment gently clears away surface dullness to brighten the skin. It boosts smoothness, clarity, and brightness for a beautiful glow. It also has lime tea concentrate. This is a signature antioxidant in the La Mer lineup that helps defend against damage from environmental aggressors and pollution that can age the look of the skin. This is going to be free of parabens, phthalates, and sulfites. Now, this is a mix of chemical and physical sunscreen, and as I have mentioned before, I tend to focus on more physical sunscreens, so we are going to see how this works for my fussy skin. Here is the color Light, and as you can see, you guys, I've let it oxidize just for a second, and I think it's gonna work out just fine for my skin. And this, it contains an SPF of 30. So let's go ahead and put this on my skin and see how it works out. I am just gonna take about a pea size here. It is just like tons of skin tints right now. It does have a little bit of fragrance in it. Kind of smells like a little bit like the sunscreens. Okay, just gonna be rubbing this into my skin to start. So the texture, you guys, is really truly light as air. It feels very light. So the texture really does feel super light, but I am wanting to use a brush to kind of brush this onto the skin. So I'm using my IT Cosmetics, and I am just going to brush this onto my skin. I forgot to mention that there was nothing on my skin before, just my normal skincare. It's about a pea size on my skin. Not trying to scare you, but I'm going to bring you in a little closer. So if you can see, there definitely is a little bit of glow going on. I personally think the color, it works totally fine. And again, you guys, it was brand new product. I couldn't really see any swatches. And again, I picked it up in light. The light medium looked like it might be a tad bit dark for me since I'm not someone who necessarily tans during the summer. So here is again the finish so far. Definitely seeing the glow on this. So, okay, we are gonna, I did end up pulling out my La Mer. This is the concealer stick. And this is in the shade Light. I thought we would go ahead and use the La Mer products that I have. And the way that I like to use this one, you guys, is I actually like to warm it up on my fingertip because otherwise it's a little bit dry, or not dry, but it works better with the warmth of my fingers. And then I'm just gonna take this guy, give myself a little bit of brightness underneath the eyes. So you guys, what I will tell you is that this is sinking in beautifully to my skin. It doesn't feel like any kind of makeup. It is really truly light as air. And sometimes with these kind of tinted SPFs, you can feel them on your skin. They can kind of feel heavy. I am not finding that to be the case. So other quick little thing is my fussy skin, if there is something in the ingredient deck, we will see it pretty quickly, little prickles on my skin pretty darn quickly. It will just kind of tell me immediately I don't like it. It usually has to do with fragrance in products, but so far this is just feeling very comfortable. It is not upsetting to my skin, and so far I'm liking the glow. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use the La Mer powder here. And you guys, I do own the La Mer foundation brush. It is not as much as my favorite as my It Cosmetics. This is just my go-to. I have several of them and they're just kind of easy to use. So I will be using my favorite brush from La Mer for the powder. And this is the powder brush. You guys, this is worth every single penny. I just love it. And I am actually a fan of the La Mer powder. Now that being said, I never had the original one, which I heard people were very disappointed when they got rid of it. So I've only tried the powder, this one. Okay, I just set that with a little bit of the La Mer powder. And I don't think I really took away the glow. I used very little powder, but I did want to go ahead and set that. Okay guys, I'm gonna do a quick and easy eye using my Dior. This is the Backstage, and this is in the Rosewood Neutrals. I'm gonna do a quick little eye, and then we'll finish off the face and we can kind of see how this is wearing so far. I'm gonna take that primer right in here. Really like that. It's like a nice creamy base. I'm gonna go in with this big Sonia G. This is the Detail Pro, and I'm just gonna go into this lovely shade right here. And that is the nude. Of course, I love the nude shade. We're just gonna come right in and put that all over the lid as a base. And I'm going to be going into this shade here. This is called Wood, and it's just a nice little wood colored matte here. And I'm using I'm using Wayne Goss number 19. And I'm just going to come in here and we're going to create a little wash. Then we're going to go into this highlighter shade here in Bronze. We're going to put that on the lid. we're gonna go use this deep plum shade right here. And I'm using the Refer number 3, which is just a nice little kind of pencil liner. And I'm just gonna come I'm going to go in just a little bit with this matte rose here, and I just want to add a little bit of that rose, just a light washing. Just wanted to add a little bit of that. Okay guys, just a really easy eye using that backstage. Those shadows are just easy to use, super blendable. I am going to put just a tad bit of Bruna Agape up by the lash line just to intensify the eyes, but again, you could totally skip that if you are not an eyeliner girl. And I'm just going to come Okay guys, I am gonna go put on my mascara, clean up my brows. We'll come back and finish off the face, but as it's settling down, again, you guys, you cannot feel anything on your skin. Like, it just feels like nothing. And that is one thing I will mention. Tinted moisturizers, sometimes you can definitely feel a little bit of the weightiness from the SPF. So far, I am feeling nothing. So getting bonus points for that. I think the color is working so far. You guys can let me know. And again, I think this is probably going to be a product for people who love La Mer. Not sure if it's going to be something that you have to run out and get if that is not your brand per se, but we'll touch base and see what you guys think. Okay, you guys, quick and easy eye. And then while I was doing my brows, I was trying to think of what this was similar to, and I decided to pull out the Sicily. This is the Vito Hydra tint, because I think some people might ask me kind of comparisons between these two. What I would tell you is that this one feels a little bit heavier on the skin versus this La Mer. This really does feel like nothing on the skin. I am finding that this one is giving kind of a nice glow, but when in person it doesn't look fake or anything like this. This one looks more like just healthy skin. It's not so I would consider both of these skincare brands. La Mer's known for their skincare. Sicily's got a little bit more cosmetics and such, but still it is primarily a skincare brand. And so these two would be the ones kind of high-end tints that have launched this summer. Now, this one does not really claim to have any SPF. In other countries, it is known as having SPF 15, and it does have titanium dioxide in here. So this does have a touch, but this one is going to give you 30. This also is a mix of chemical and physical. It does contain titanium dioxide as well. Let's do a quick comparison of the two colors. Quick comparison of the colors for you. This is the La Mer, and this is the Sicily. So you guys, very similar in color. Let me wipe this. There we go. Okay, so this is the Sicily in light, and this is the La Mer. So the Sicily's got a little bit of warmth to it. Over here, this one's going to be a little bit more neutral, maybe even leaning a little bit more on the yellow side here. And then as I'm rubbing these out, La Mer is going to feel just what it describes. It feels like so light and airy on the skin. This one, you guys, it's not super heavy, but it definitely is going to have that a little bit heavier on the skin. So these are the two that come to mind as far as comparisons. Okay, I'm going to bronze up the skin real quick, and then I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury, her airbrush bronzer, just giving myself a little bit of a bronzy look today. For blush, I'm gonna pull out my Dior. This is the Rosy blush, and again, this is just gonna make me have a little light little flush here. For lips, I'm gonna pull out my Hermes. This is in the Rose Bois shade, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on. So you guys, here is the finished look. I did put on a little bronzer, a little blush. I'm going to bring you in a little bit so you can see the finish. And I'm wondering if you can see on camera, it does give you a nice little glow, but it's not fake looking in real person. I did go to my resident critic, that would be my daughter Zoe, and I asked her what she thought of this, and so she thought that it looked very skin-like. She said I probably don't like it that much because it doesn't have as much coverage. I am trying to like these kind of foundations with not a lot of coverage, especially as I'm aging. I'm feeling like less is more, but it's hard to get used to that. And I just asked her about the glow factor, and she said my skin just looked healthy and good, that it didn't look fake. Like sometimes glowy kind of foundations can look a little bit too dewy. This is just going to give you a little glow, but not over the top. So those were the initial thoughts. I'm going to wear this and I will do a check-in for you guys and we can see how it wears throughout the day. So far, so good. Okay guys, I'm doing a little 5-hour check-in, and oops, realizing I don't have my light on. I'll do this first, and this is just sort of I guess we would call it natural lighting. And here is what it looks like 5 hours. And again, I have dry skin, more mature. I'll be 52 in a couple weeks. But what I will say is, you guys, again, doesn't feel like anything on my skin. Nice little glow. And then let me turn the light on for you. Okay, 5 hours of wear. And so far wearing just about the same as when I put it on. So no budging, you know, nothing's really wearing off. Definitely still see a glow. And again, you guys, the only thing I am wondering about is if my particular skin with a certain chemical SPF gives me polka dots. Just right in this little zone over here, but this could be my particular skin. And yes, I do have SPF underneath, and yes, I already wear a physical sunscreen underneath. So here is what it looks like so far. 5 hours of wear. I will check back, but so far so good. Not a lot of budging, no breaking up per se. And now I am gonna go walk to the grocery store, so we'll get out in the heat and I'll let you look at it that way once I get back. Okay guys, we're doing a final check-in. I have had this new Mer Radiant Skin Tint on for about 8 hours now. And again, you can see a little bit of breakthrough coming through the T-zone. Just a little bit of glow and shine, but nothing like greasy, or at least I don't think so. So I am seeing that this is still nice and glowy. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't feel like anything on the skin. This is just one that does not feel heavy. When they say light as air, absolutely, they totally get that claim. I'm going to have to use this a few more days to see if I have any sort of skin reaction, but just so you know, my fussy kind of skin usually tells me, you know, pretty quickly, especially by the end of the day, if something is not going to jive with my skin type. So far I have not had any issues whatsoever, feeling like my skin, like this isn't going to cause an issue for me, which I was concerned about because it does have a mix of chemical and physical sunscreens. I tend to usually just focus on the physical, but I did have many requests of people wanting me to try this when it came out. So I was like, okay, let's give La Mer a try. I've usually been super happy with all of the La Mer skin color kind of product. I love the soft fluid foundation. I think the powder is great. I honestly, this powder brush is my absolute favorite brush ever. So I am a fan of the brand. And so I did kind of want to try it myself. So out of the ones that I have tried, there was the other one I tried that was the Tom Ford Skin Tint that recently launched. And that one did cause a little reaction on my particular skin, but that was because it has lavender oil or lavender extract in it. And my skin just does not like that. But when I'm thinking of comparing the two of them, I would say also that this one has a tad bit more coverage than that Tom Ford one did for my skin. And I would say these are very comparable in coverage to each other. This is the Sicily Phyto Hydra Tint. And so if you already own this, do you need this? I don't think so. If you are a fan of the brand of La Mer and you want to give this a try, you guys, it's pretty lovely. I'm finding that it's really just comfortable, easy for the summer. I would love to see some more of the shade ranges, so that could be determinant as well. It seems like it is kind of adaptable, like you don't need to be completely precise on your color because it is a skin tint, it is sheer. And so in conclusion, you guys, the three kind of new skin tints that are a little bit on the bougier side is going to be that Tom Ford Skin Tint. Then we've got the Sicily Phyto Hydra Tint. And then we have the La Mer. The La Mer here is going to be having 30 SPF. It is a nice radiant looking SPF. Do I think that there is cheaper alternatives? Absolutely. I have several. I've done a recent sort of skin tint kind of video as well with a bunch of different price points. So if you own one of the other ones, the Tom Ford or the Sicily Phyto Hydra Tint, do I think you need this? No, I do not think so. If you are a fan of La Mer, you want to give this a try. I do kind of say it feels lovely on the skin. I love the radiant glow. It doesn't make me look too greasy and such. But yes, are there cheaper alternatives to this on the market? Absolutely, but this would be up to you guys on what you want to spend. This does claim to have skincare benefits. Again, that's always a nice little add-on. Okay guys, so I am going to continue to play with this. We'll see what you guys think about it. Let me know if you're planning on picking this $95 La Mer Radiant Skin Tint up, or if you're going to pass. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will be back with another video soon.